and so now we're on to sauteing a fish with skin on. This is the fish that I butchered earlier, and so what I'm going to be doing with this is a very, very simplistic aspect of cooking it. All we're going to be adding to it is going to be salt, pepper, and olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to go into a hot pan, skin side down, and we have to make sure that the pan is hot with a little bit of olive oil. We're going to cook it to 3/4 of the way up, reduce the heat, flip it over, take the pan off because the pan actually has so much residual heat that will actually finish the cooking, and that is how you cook a perfect fish fillet. So now I have a hot pan behind me, and I can see that the pan is very, very hot because it is smoking. So I'm going to pull it lightly off, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to put a little bit of oil only on the meat side, not on the scale side or the skin side. Alright, just a little bit here as well. Can reuse that here. Again, only using one hand, a little bit of salt. And I'm going from above, and why is that? So again, it's evenly dispersed. Salt on this one as well. Alright, some ground black pepper. Okay. A little bit more on the other fillets. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so now, filling with the back side of my hand, very, very hot pan. A little bit of olive oil, 2 teaspoons. Alright. I'm going to put it right back on the heat. This is a non-stick, and so with this being the tail end piece, I'm going to actually put the meatier top end piece on first because it's going to cook a little bit longer. Alright. Alright, so what's happening right now, I'm looking at the bottom and I'm seeing light browning, and that's very, very good. That's what you want for your fish. Now with it being very, very hot, now I know that the skin is now seared because you only need to sear it for about 1 minute. After that 1 minute, I'm going to drop the temperature way down to about medium-low. I'm going to pull it off just a little bit because whenever you have a high heat for any meat, it sears, it sears, it sears, it sears, but it never cooks up until way later, which means it's over-seared on the outside. So the reason that now I'm reducing the heat is because the heat will now cook up through that. And so we're looking for about 3/4 of the way cooked, and then what I'm going to do is take the pan completely off the eye, flip over the fillets, and then the residual heat in the pan will slightly and gradually cook up the entirety of the fish, and that is how you have a perfectly cooked medium fillet. And for any kind of fish that we do cook or you're cooking at home, understand if it's very, very tall, it's probably going to take about 6 minutes to cook for its entirety. If you're cooking a bass, a crappie for instance, you're looking at maybe about 4 minutes, okay? Just letting you know. But again, if you keep the skin on, you want to get that crispy skin, then reduce down the heat so that the heat pushes all the way through. Because again, if you keep it at a very high heat, what will happen is that the skin will retain a blackness and a char, and that's something that you don't want to taste. Watch yourself, it is a fish, so it has water and oil. And so now I've finished with the fish, and as you can tell, I've just flipped it over. This is not an eye that I put it on, it's just actually a plate because I don't want to burn this or put a ring on it. And so the residual heat of the pan is actually now cooking the bottom, actually which is now the top which is the bottom of the fish. And so we're going to leave it alone for about 2 minutes while I'm doing that. I'm just going to put this here and then put this in the sink. Just clean it up a little bit. This white right here is white all the way up and down, which means what? The fish is perfectly cooked to where you want it. So now what I'm going to do Go ahead and grab the fish here. Go ahead and put it on a plate so that you have no more heat. And again, this fish is as well. And that is how you cook fish fillet with skin on to a perfect medium every time.